Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today I'm very excited to be joined by Egesi, brand designer and founder of Apricot Branding. Eddie works with entrepreneurs and businesses to create distinctive visual visual identities that reflect the story, personality, and purpose behind their brand. Through his work, he helps founders move beyond simply creating a logo and instead building cohesive brand systems that communicate who they are and what they stand for. Eddie, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm very much excited to dive in and learn a little bit more about your journey. So, Eddie, with all of my guests, I do like to start at the beginning. So if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Apricot Branding, and then from there, what was the motivation behind it?
Yeah, so it all started at first in college. So it started off as a small side hustle in college where I was doing lots of creative works because I come from more of like a creative background. So I started like a small design business. I did a lot of projects. I did storyboards for film. I designed like clothing lines. What else did I do? I also designed logos as well, advertising. So I did lots of creative work. I also collaborated with like other marketing companies as well on different projects. So that's pretty much how it started. So during this process in college, right, it really gave me like a good foundation to like really gain that experience to build that network. And then over time, I decided to focus more primarily on businesses because I felt like they had a lot of distinct challenges that I felt like I could really solve. I also learned a lot more about branding during this phase. So I was inspired by like the bigger agencies, a lot of big names that are out there and the impact that they're making for their clients. Okay, so after I graduated, I would say like later around the pandemic is when I officially rebranded as Apricot Branding, which is a strategic branding and design firm. Yeah.
Love it. So it kind of blossomed throughout COVID. And did you always have a little bit of an inkling to be an entrepreneur, even when you was kind of setting up the side hustle like throughout college? Was that something you always wanted to do?
Yeah, I was always excited about the idea of like just like bringing an idea to life,
Nice, yeah.
building a business from the ground up. So yeah, I was absolutely interested in the whole entrepreneurship lifestyle. So yeah.
Cool stuff. And then obviously combining that with your creativity coming in before that, it's a really
Yeah.
cool project that you're working on branding and taking it forward from there. So let's dive into Apricot Branding a little bit more, just so the listeners can have some context moving forward. So Eddie, at this point in, who would you say like is your ideal client? Like who do you very, very much love to work with the most? And then from there, how is it you help them? And how do you support them along their own journey?
Yeah, sure. So I primarily work with clients in the health and wellness space. And then I also work in related industries as well, like fitness and self-care, because these are industries where trust matters most and connection matters most. Okay. So that's what makes branding so critical in these spaces. These are the key industries that I work in and where I feel like I do my best work. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. So yeah, and as you say, within those industries, fitness, wellness, health, trust is a big thing because you are putting kind of like your body in the hands of somebody else. So obviously that branding plays a big part in that. So what is your style or your approach when you are working with these clients? How is it you kind of help them evaluate and move forward?
Yeah, sure. So I usually start with an initial consultation just to understand like where they currently are, their goals right now, their key challenges. And then based on that, I then develop like a proposal with
Awesome.
recommendations in terms of like the best way forward, the investments, and like other key considerations. And then if the client has any questions, then we can go over that together. And then if not, then we can go ahead and move forward with the contract. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you start with a consultation, obviously assuming make sure it's a good fit on both sides. You can actually help them with the issue they're having and then move it along from there. And then when you are working with your clients, are you very much in the trenches with them and like holding their hand the whole way through, or is it more of like a self-learning pace? Like how is your approach to it?
Okay, like you're asking if I work more hands-on with clients. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I work with them step by step, like because like I find that a lot of clients they have these underlying issues that they have with their brand. So like a lot of people don't even really understand what branding is and what it's
Mm.
really about. So I just work with clients to like not just work with them, but also just educate them, so that they can better understand like how branding can really increase their market impact. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, so branding very much at the front end of that marketing. That's the first thing people see. So as you say, that's kind of what you
Mhm.
want to attract people with is those nuances involved with that. And I suppose what is the biggest challenge or issue that your clients tend to have? Like why is it they're reaching out to you?
Yeah, so I would probably say, let me see. Um, like from my experience, I found that like a lot of businesses, they never uncover their brand's true potential
Okay.
because their brand doesn't clearly reflect the value and uniqueness of what they do. So what I do is I help them to clarify and express that message in a more impactful way so that people understand them, trust them, and take action. Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, so that initial get as you say, that is the first thing that's drawing them in. You want to make sure that aligns with their vision, make sure it explains exactly what they're doing, and from there, hopefully
Yeah.
attract the right kind of customers as well, which is pretty cool. Now, Eddie, I do want to get into the nuts and bolts of the business a little bit. So, when it comes to acquiring your customers, naturally,
Mhm.
with your experience, how do you go about obviously finding those right people to work with? Like, what channels or methods are really working well for you at the moment?
Okay, for acquiring new, for attracting new clients. So when it comes to clients, I usually focus more on attraction, client attraction. So
Okay.
most of my marketing and sales process has been mostly driven by, I would probably say, what's the word? Is it mostly driven by like strengthening relationships
Mm,
and thought leadership as well? Okay, so I have a really good retention and referral rate, and also I have some really strong relationships with key decision makers that helps to bring in more clients over time. And then on the thought leadership side, I publish a lot of content to shed more light on branding, branding insights, marketing insights, and I do lots of speaking as well. So I'm also a professional
beautiful.
speaker. I speak at events and I collaborate a lot with other like local organizations and businesses to do events as well. So all these things help to attract more people. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, obviously speaking is a great way to do that, leaning into the personal brand and as you say, the thought leadership side of things, just giving value out there to people is a great way to build trust online. And then naturally, if you're having a great referral system, it just shows kudos to the work you are doing and bringing it in. When it does come to online though, where are you kind of posting your content or what is your favorite kind of platform? Do you use LinkedIn, Meta, and do you run any form of paid advertisements, maybe to bring like even more consistency to your lead flow?
Okay, yeah. So currently, I have a blog. I have a blog on my website.
Oh,
So it's
great.
been focused on a lot of content SEO. So that's been really, really helpful. It's been one of the best decisions I've made. Was the content SEO. So it's really helped to really put my brand out there so that I can really establish that credibility. So over time, a lot of my content did very well.
Mm,
It also helps to differentiate my company from all the others as well because of the quality of the content. So I would say I do lots of content. So I feel like marketing today is multi-channel. So you can't really
yeah.
rely on one channel. You have to combine different touch points. So every touch point allows you to offer something more unique, more valuable, more meaningful. Okay, so it's usually a combination of different things when clients, want to engage with me. So for example, they may come across my blog articles online, they may come across one of my events, they may subscribe to my newsletter. So all these things contribute, right, to the eventual decision to work with me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A multimedia approach, as you say, like your fingers in many pies. It's like such a great way to do it. You kind of hit them from all angles, and then hopefully just remain top of mind from there. Which is a really cool aspect. Do you utilize social media in any way for like even your blogging, your posts? Like, is it LinkedIn that is your favorite preferred platform?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I utilize both LinkedIn and Facebook. There's this
Nice,
other platform too called Alignable that's pretty new that I also use as well. But
awesome.
yeah, I absolutely use LinkedIn. I actually recently launched a LinkedIn newsletter called Apricot Pulse that focuses on branding and market insights. So I currently leverage LinkedIn. I leverage Facebook as well to
Mm,
promote my content. Yeah, absolutely.
nice stuff. And do you use paid advertisements across LinkedIn or anything, or is it just very organic with what you're putting out there, as you said, with more the SEO style?
Yeah, yeah. So I invest in advertising as well, but it's mostly organic, I would say. Mostly
Okay,
organic.
cool. Nice. And just taking off there. I think it's nice to have a bit of both, especially when the organic is working well. When you're running ads, it's just like putting gasoline on the fire, especially if you are looking to grow and scale. It just very much brings in that consistency you need, which is a really cool aspect. And Eddie, do you have a team that are helping you out at all on the back end, or do you pretty much run and wear all the hats yourself within the company?
Yeah, yeah, I definitely have like a small team, because
Nice.
as you get bigger and bigger, then the capacity becomes an issue. So I definitely have a small team that I'm trying to grow over time. So yeah.
Cool stuff. And I suppose what does that dynamic look like? Like, are you kind of more client facing, or what roles do you like to take up within the company?
Yeah, so I'm more client facing. So I handle the client relationships, the client engagements. So
Awesome.
I function kind of like the lead consultant and creative director. And then I just work with the team to execute. Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. So they have more of like the supporting aspect, and as you say, you are there to kind of make sure the clients are
Mhm.
doing well when you're on that front-facing role, which is pretty cool. And with all that being said, like, what are your visions or your ambitions for the company moving forward? Like, when you think of maybe the next 6 to 12 months, what are the goals or your targets that you're hopefully looking forward to achieving?
Yeah, so I would probably say, let me see. So one main goal right now is to expand operational capacity. Like I
Okay.
said, building a team so that way I can take on larger engagements. Okay, so I'm currently working on bringing really building a team. So the challenge right now is building a team without sacrificing quality, because I have very high standards.
Mm.
I have very high standards, so I'm trying to build a team without sacrificing quality as well. So one thing is building a team. Another one is expanding thought leadership to really establish more authority for Apricot branding. I'm also putting more effort into research as well, market research and insights. Let me see what else. So yeah, I think everything it's all related because when I build a team, then I'm able to like take on bigger projects,
Yeah.
and I'm also able to expand on my thought leadership. I've also been considering like what's the word um like government contracting as well.
Okay.
Because I feel like a lot of public organizations also have like branding issues as well. So when I build a team, then I'm able to work with larger organizations in the public
Yeah.
sector as well. Yeah.
Yeah, as you say, it very much helped with like invisible ceiling that most founders hit, the capacity level, allowing you to, as you say, work on the thought leadership. So it all kind of works in a tangent. As you said, it kind of makes sense, You can bring on the team, you can work on what you need to do, and that team still keeps growing while you attract those better kind of clients as well. It makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. The government contract is an interesting one. So in terms of like obviously helping them grow in their brand, it makes so much sense if they need some help there, getting into that aspect as well. That might be a little bit trickier though in terms of actually getting in
Mhm.
to the companies you're trying to help on
Yeah,
that side.
exactly. When you first start in that space, yeah, it's a little bit tricky. But
Mm,
once you get your foot in the door, then
yeah.
everything becomes much smoother. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome stuff. And Eddie, where are you probably finding like the biggest challenge for yourself at the moment in the business or even taking those next steps?
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge right now, which I'm already working on, is just building capacity so that I can take on
Yeah.
bigger projects. Yeah, so building the right team. So I feel like if I'm able to like build the right team and the right system, then I can take on, much larger engagements as well. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it's a really important aspect. And the system as well you mentioned there, which is so important when you are looking to scale. Just make sure the company doesn't come crumbling down without you in those roles. It's
Mhm.
really important. And there's one final question to you, Eddie. So if you could go back in time to a younger self and you could
Okay.
only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know back then, what would you say to yourself?
Yeah, so one thing that I always emphasize is the value of partnership. Cause like business is a team sport. So you don't have to feel like you have to do it alone. Because when I first started, I was kind of doing it all alone. I would collaborate with others, but it was mostly on my own. So I feel like embracing collaboration because you never know who would be open to collaborating with you. Like even like bigger organizations, they might be willing to collaborate with you. So I emphasize the value of partnerships, embracing collaboration, and approaching business as like a team sport. Okay. So one thing that I've found that successful brands have in common is that they embrace partnership and collaboration. So it's more about collaborating with people who share the same values and align with your mission. Okay, and then everyone wins together. Yeah.
Yeah, and it can be a very lonely place as a founder, as you say, leaning into those networks, making sure that other founders are getting a service and you can provide the same thing. Partnerships
Mhm.
are a great way moving forward. I agree with you 100%. And
Yeah.
Eddie, Thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out best to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
Yeah, so they could feel free to visit my website at apricotbranding.com, where they can view some case studies, some of my thought leadership. I also have a brand clarity assessment that they can access from my website. So the brand clarity assessment is a free tool that allows you to assess the level of clarity that your brand has across 4 key areas. Okay, so that could be accessed from my website as well, the brand clarity assessment. And then what else? Yeah, primarily my website, and I would say they can also contact me on LinkedIn as well.
Amazing stuff. And thank you again for joining me, Eddie. I really appreciate your time today. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to go and check out Eddie on LinkedIn, as he just said. Check out the website, Apricot Branding. Drop him a message. I'm sure he'd love to hear from everybody. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing and we'll see you on the next one.